Bone Lab is going to be huge. Stress Level Zero has been known for innovating the VR scene after their glorious creation of Boneworks. The amount of advances that they've made in the VR scene is unbelievable. There's a lot of new things being brought to the table that will show this game is going to be so revolutionary for VR as a whole. I believe this will not only change the way we play VR now, but it's definitely going to change the way VR is in the future. This is definitely going to set some new standards for VR. So let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this. There's a lot of big components involved in the innovation of this game. I just want to break them all down. So let's start off with the physics. Now, one thing that's crazy about how Stress Level Zero has innovated the physics of their games is specifically how interacting with anything works. For example, if you look at, let's say there's a wall right here in front of me. In most VR games, when I'm able to reach out here in real life and the wall is here, my arm will just go right through. It won't be stopped. But with Boneworks, they changed that, where when you went to put your hand and do this, it would just hit the wall, like a barrier, like it would if it was a normal wall there. And the reason for this is because you have an actual physical avatar. In most games, you may have an avatar, but sometimes you're just a floating body or a floating head and hands. You don't really have a physical body that you're moving around in this space. So they really utilized that feature to make it more immersive and realistic, as when you interacted with the wall, your hand was stopped. So you wouldn't really feel the need to push your hand through in real life, because that wouldn't happen in the game. So everything felt like it really belonged there, and that you're really interacting with this world. And on top of that, they had the great physics with items and collision. If you were holding two different items, you could hit them together and they would collide like they were supposed to, unlike other games where they might phase right through each other. They really focused on making everything feel as real as it could be for a VR game. And other games do this as well. This is not an original thing that only they have mastered creating. It's just their game Boneworks was the most innovative in really mastering this art, while others are still a little iffy here and there. So the fact that they already did all this perfectly in Boneworks shows that they're probably going to be doing the exact same, if not making it even better somehow, in Bone Lab. I almost forgot to mention the gun physics. They've been doing a great job on making these as realistic as possible, and it looks amazing. I'm sure you've seen those videos on the internet of people throwing the guns up in the air and putting the clips in and gunning people down. It looks phenomenal. The way that they made the guns and melee weapons work is just super clean and smooth, and you can tell that they put a lot of work and effort into making them feel and look great. One thing I like about the studio is the fact that with this game and Boneworks, it has one similar factor. And when it comes to the story and the characters and everything that you do, it all is just simplistic. Bare walls, simple decoration, and the enemies are just some polygon-looking people. They don't take effort into making the enemies and the environments all look realistic, because that's not what this is about. It's about the physics and the engine that they have formed for you to play in. It's all about shooting enemies in an environment that feels more real than any other VR game you've seen. Not about how nice it looks or the coat of paint that's on it. That's one thing I have big respect for when it comes to this company. They put a lot more time in the gameplay and fundamentals than the looks and appearance. The next big thing of innovation is what they're going to be doing with the avatars for this game. The way that they changed how avatars work in this game is absolutely unlike anything I've ever heard of. And I'm not just talking about the way you can quickly switch between avatars in the midst of action with the new device on your arm. I'm talking about character stats. This is something new I've never heard a game do before with character selection. The thing that's so big about this is that every single avatar in the game is not just a new skin and appearance that makes you look different, but it has its own stats and speed and strength and just size in general, which is something that other games have never done with avatars before. Now with VR Chat as an example, you can change your avatar, which does change your appearance, but it only changes like how big you are or how small you are in an area, and maybe how fast you move. But that's not the same as what this game is doing. This game is changing everything about it, with different attributes. And the fact that the game is going to make it where you have to utilize these features on the go constantly is going to be so cool. You can choose which way you want to go and which path you want to take by changing up your character build to help you get through that doorway or get past that obstacle. This is something unheard of with VR games. I've never seen something like this. Like, if you need to reach something that's higher up and you're too short, you can switch to a character that's tall enough to pick that up. Or you need to run across a conveyor belt and you're not fast enough, switch to a character that can run faster, that's more of an athlete. If you can just want to go through a horde of people and be a big, strong, tough brute, you can switch into that too and just start throwing people around with ease. This is something that makes the gameplay super new and interactive for the player. That's not just using one simple person the entire game, or having to go through a customization screen to switch avatars. It's instant and on the go for any moment you need it. Now, the characters are one thing, but the modding for this game is going to be insane. The amount of components and factors they've added into this game will make the modding community for it extremely big. There's so many new things you can do that I cannot imagine people running out of stuff to add in. They already did this with Boneworks in the past, with all these fun avatars and new weapons and abilities. One of the last games I saw that had interactive things like this was the game Gladius. But this will be so much more. With Sandbox and the addition of new character calibrations and stats, there is so much more people can do with this game. Not only will you be able to make a modded character of, let's say, Spider-Man, but you can also give him his own stats to make him faster or slower, or you can make a character of Hulk and make him super strong and buff. Unlike other games where you can just make your character look different, but that's all you can do. Which means that the amount of things people are going to be able to make is absurd. Not to mention this is on the Quest 2. For the first time for Stress Level Zero, this is actually a game that is open to the majority of the public for VR. With the other games that they've made, they've always been on one thing, PC. And this is because they're more tech-wise, so they're made for higher-end gaming setups for people to use. But for the first time, they put this on the Quest 2. They made it for the Quest 2 first. Which means this experience is not going to be taken and lowered unlike other experiences, where they're made for one thing and they're cropped over to the Quest 2, so the quality lowers. And in the end, with PC, the quality will be better, but this was made so that it is nice and works well for the Quest 2. This is going to be insane for VR gaming. And with the modding community, it will definitely be bigger as it is now open to a bigger audience. People will be using side quests and other methods to find ways to get mods into their Quest 2, and which will make people want to make mods of their own that play on the Quest 2. It opens up a bigger community to everything now that it's on a more audience-used device. Heck, I'm probably going to find a way to get some mods into my Quest 2. I gotta use these new things people are going to make. The community is so creative, and there's so many things that you can do. Stress Level Zero knows exactly what they're doing. They're trying to make a big community and innovate the entire scene of VR as we know it. It all changes this Thursday. Well, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I kind of just did this off the top of the head. I didn't write anything down on a script for once. So, I just really wanted to talk about this game, and I wanted to make this video quick before it comes out. And I know a lot of other channels are making videos just like this, especially smaller channels. So I'm probably going to just be thrown into that mix of them, and you know, maybe I'll get lost in the tide there. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been gone for a few months. I've been really taking my time on a big project that I kind of forgot I needed to upload. So I'm going to start working on a bunch of smaller projects and kind of pumping those out before I get back to the big one, because I'm kind of tired of that. I'm at a drought right now. So I'm taking a break. And I'm just going to start pumping out some shorter videos, maybe a gaming video pretty soon, so, you know, just be ready for that. And I hope you enjoyed this kind of style. I wanted to make it a little bit more quick and short and compact, so let me know what you think. So, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and have a good one.